Today, we're going to be starting lying down on our back. Make sure the hips are about at the middle of the mat. Carefully lay yourself down and get comfortable. We're going to start with our feet mat width distance apart and gently press the knees in towards one another. If that's too intense, you can always bring the feet a little bit closer together, or if you're comfortable, just keep the feet exactly as they are. Let's lengthen our arms out to the sides and our palms are facing up towards the sky. From there, we'll begin pressing one knee in towards the midline, then back to center and the other. Do try and keep the feet grounded. You can stretch the arms out a little wider into a T and just move side to side. So we're working on our internal hip rotation. We'll be focusing quite a bit on the hips today, so just a little warm up. Step the feet nice and close together and lengthen the legs out long. From here, we're going to draw the right knee in towards the chest, then let the leg come across the body, pressing the leg out to straight and bending the knee to circle the leg back up towards the chest. 5 times like this. So press through the leg nice and straight, bend the knee, pulling it up towards the armpit and across the chest. Wonderful. So we can inhale as the leg comes up the right and exhale as the leg comes over to the left, twisting across the body. Big full range of motion with the shoulder blades grounded. Reverse your circle, so pull up through the left, open to the right, and press the leg to straight. 5 times in this direction as well. Inhaling around one half of your circle and exhaling around the other. Shoulder blades again nice and grounded. Clasp your hands on the shin and give a nice big squeeze on the shin, keeping the shoulders soft. We'll cross the right leg over the left one like you're wearing a short skirt, so nice tight cross, and then gently draw the legs in towards the chest. So for now, we can just hold on to the knees, whatever you can easily reach, and try and let the lower back stay nice and heavy down towards the floor. If you're not feeling a big stretch in the hips yet, walk the hands further down the shins and keep the legs nice and open so the heels are up away from the hips rather than sinking down towards your pelvis. You may eventually be able to grab onto the outer edges of the feet. Again, keeping the feet nice and wide apart, and use a little bit of your upper body strength to gently pull on the legs so they come in closer towards you. Rolling over to one side and right down onto the belly. This is a really fun movement called the scorpion. It's a nice counter stretch for our twists. So bring your forehead to the mat and lengthen the arms out long, palms on the mat. Lift the right leg slightly, then bend the knee and open the hip so the right hip lifts off the mat. Come back to center and lengthen the right leg out long. Try the same thing on the other side. Lift the left leg, bend the knee, open the hip. Carefully come back to center, both hips grounded, leg long. Keep alternating from one side to the other and gradually beginning to make the movements bigger and more expressive. So this helps us to open the fronts of the hips and give some nice blood flow and circulation to the lower back. Bring the hands under the shoulders and carefully press up and back to all fours, and then a child's pose. So let the pelvis sink back towards the heels. If the forehead does not reach the mat, place a block or pillow underneath it so that you can relax completely. And have the hands quite wide apart here. So we want the hands about mat width distance apart, pinky fingers nice and close to the edges of our mat. For this variation, our elbows are nice and relaxed so the forearms can rest completely on the floor. Now if the hips aren't touching the heels, that's fine. For quite a few of us, this pose can be challenging to get the hips down. So just accept whatever your child's pose looks and feels like today. And from there, let's send the legs out nice and long and have a block nearby. Bring the hips to the middle of the mat and carefully transition down onto the back. Have the block right beside the hips, nice and close. Bend the knees with the feet on the mat and lift the hips up, sliding the block underneath your sacrum. So the block for now should be nice and low, not on its very lowest setting, but up to about the middle. And your sacrum is right at the bottom of the spine. So you'll feel that bone right at the center of the lower back. That is the exact spot where we want to have the block. If you are very comfortable, you can carefully rise up higher and turn the block up to its highest setting. This is a more advanced move, so make sure that if you're doing this, you're truly ready for it. Hug both knees into chest and massage the lower back into the mat by gently rocking from side to side. From here, we're going to twist, so keep the knees stacked. Bring the legs over to the left side and reach the right arm out nice and long. Let's see if we can slide the right hand up higher than shoulder height, so it's on a diagonal from the shoulder joint. And reach out through the fingertips, looking towards that right arm. Do try and keep the knees stacked and together, so that right hip is turning towards the left side of your mat. You can also bend that right arm at 90 degrees to get a little more opening through the chest. From there, carefully transitioning onto the back again. So come back to center with the knees into chest. Squeeze them in one last time. And spend a breath or two here, just feeling how lovely that is on the low back, to really have the knees right in towards the chest and the low back heavy on the floor. For our relaxation today, we're going to set up just a little bit different. So have a block nearby and have that pillow nearby as well. Lay down on one side. Ideally, if you're a side sleeper, try and lay down on the other side, just for a little variation. Have the knees bent and have the pillow between the knees.